Hey book buddies, and welcome back to another episode of Sarah's Reviewing Books. And in this episode I'm going to be talking about the fifth and final book in the Kiwis at War series, which is 1918 Broken Poppies by Des Hunt. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos about the Kiwis at War books, then they are a series of 5 books written by 5 different New Zealand authors based off of letters and accounts from New Zealand soldiers and nurses that served during World War I, as well as actual historical facts and events. Despite the fact that they are based off of actual fact, they are in fact historical fictions. Though this one is a little bit different to the others, as the main character Henry Hunt is actually based off of Des Hunt's uncle who served during World War I, and he managed to come across all of his letters and accounts and such from the war, and was able to use a lot of the information to paint the picture of what it was actually like for him and his actual experiences during the war. So this is a historical fiction, but it is based off of real life. This book follows Henry Hunt. He ends up enlisting in the New Zealand Army to join the war in 1916. He ends up finding a dog who he calls Poppy. Though there are no actual accounts of any New Zealand soldiers in the Otago regiment actually having dogs or any pets whatsoever, they were actually quite common for soldiers to have pets during the war, as they made really good ratters in getting the rats out of the trenches. This is another really good book, and it has a little bit longer span than the others, as in it goes over a couple more years. We do meet pretty much a character from every single one of the previous books in this one. Not always the main character, but we do meet characters as a cool bit of overlap, which is something that I really enjoyed about these books period, is that they've often overlapped and crossovered amongst each other. So Henry Hunt spends most of his time on the Western Front fighting forward. So he's at the Battle of Passchendaele, which I mentioned in my review for 1917, as well as several other key battles that New Zealand soldiers were involved in during World War I. If you are a history buff and you are slightly weirdly intrigued about World War I, then I highly recommend reading this series. They are probably so far my favorite series that I've read this year that's not a reread. I ended up giving this book, I believe, a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely recommend reading it.